Hey guys, today's November the 17th, 2025. My name is Travis and welcome to the Fukeries. All right, what a difference a week makes. Um, at this point, I kind of use this as my own journal just to keep track of my sanity as we go through this second version of the American Caligula. Um, As always, my glasses are crooked and broken, and I don't care. The immensity of all that's happened in the last couple of weeks, probably since Halloween, somewhere around there. Uh, you've had the SNAP benefits being canceled because of the shutdown, which ended up with the Democrats caving a small handful of long serving Democrats and at least one independent caved for reasons would serve whatever agenda they need to serve, whether it be the American people or their own selfish needs. That being said, um, some people are going to get to eat for the Thanksgiving. Hopefully they're going to get their benefits taken care of, so some people can eat. But the holdout seemed like it was for nothing now because the government's only being funded till like February, and then they got to do this same idiot song and dance again. They got to start having some consequences and some penalties for this stopping the government every couple of months. It's not as if they're not being paid to do the job. And everybody else that has a job to do, there's, first time you screw up, okay, you get a warning. Second time, maybe you get some disciplinary action. The third time, maybe there's a secondary disciplinary action. But they do this every couple of months, every year. It's the same nonsense. They don't agree on this spending. They're not getting what they want. And they're talking about their personal offices and states. Like they try to throw stuff in there that benefits them as represented officials versus this is benefiting the people from their state. So it's kind of hard to like take them seriously sometimes when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna shut down the government. We need this and this and this to open it." And in reality, they're trying to sneak something under our noses with some distraction, some other complaint, some wild accusation here and there, just to they can sneak. Hey, look, we can do a $500,000 lawsuit if they investigate us for something, if they hold us accountable for something. I told you the country is run by narcissists. This is how they get down. They're holding us hostage every time they can't get what they want from the taxpayer funded treasury and rest of the government. You don't get to do that at your job. You don't get to do it, you know, at Wendy's. You don't get to do that at Walmart. You don't get to do that at Home Depot or Lowe's or Publix or, the racetrack gas station or any of these places. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that if you're working in the jailhouse, if you're working in the military. I hope you don't get to do those type of things. But you never know what goes on in this type of corrupt uh, situation we got. Um, but yeah, they should be facing fees, fines, and penalties for they're facing fees, fines. They should be at least because we do in real life. facing fees, fines, penalties, arrest, dereliction of duty, incompetence, gross neglect of whatever job that we're supposed to be doing. And if your job is to be ensuring that American citizens are paid and protected, supported, taken care of when they need help, and you're not doing that, you need to be fired, you need to be suspended. Uh, and in many cases, these people need to be replaced immediately. It shouldn't be waiting till the next time we vote for the term. No, if we can justify that you need to be out, you could be out real quick. Like, I want the impeachments. I want people to get kicked out of the job and their whole staff fired, and you hire somebody brand new if that's what it's got to be. And I think the American citizens should also be receiving, if the government got a shutdown like this last shutdown, fuck that. You guys got to send us a stimulus or something when you shut down. Uh, when you deny us the services that we're paying for, we need the little refund right away, because that's what it's worth to each and every one of us. $1,000 every time you guys shut down. We should be paid a fine, fee, and penalty, because whenever we get in some nonsense with the government or the courts or whoever, it's a fine, fee, a penalty, turn yourself into jail, a long sentence, whatever it may be. The rest of us have to abide by the laws and abide by fine, fees, and penalties, which this is the land of. It's not the land of the free. It's the land of the fee. You heard? Not the land of the free. The land of the fee. The land with the most people incarcerated. And if it's not incarcerated, it's on probation, it's on parole, it's being watched, it's being profiled. Now it's these people who, just because they're the wrong shade of brown or light brown or tan, or some cases even peach, and of course the darkest of darks, they're being persecuted and profiled left and right for wherever they may or may not be from, whether you're from Canada, Switzerland, somewhere in Scandinavia, Ireland, Australia, Timbuktu, Brazil. Uh, Maybe you're just from Puerto Rico, you're a U.S. citizen, and they still think you're a foreigner. Maybe you're a Native American and you look like somebody from Mexico or Central America, and they're like, oh no, you don't belong here either. It's like, it's hatred. It's maybe it's jealousy in some cases, but we uh we are paying for this one, and every week it's always some different dumb shit that we have to hear. And at this point, I told you what day it is. It's November 17th. We've already heard some crazy news this last weekend. Um, and me, I spent a lot of time following the news. Um, uh, I have used different resources to get my information, whether it's NBC or ABC, CNN, whether it's someone like one of these podcasters or a site like Ground News I've heard of. I check these different sources out. I also do, whatever little cross referencing I can across the different media outlets, across historical documents and datas, so I can have some insight into whatever it is I'm talking about. But, forgive me, I am wrong sometimes. I am mistaken sometimes. I do mispronounce some of the words. So don't think I'm some scholar on here trying to explain something I'm fully aware of. Most of this stuff, I have the same access to information as the rest of you, and so sometimes I might have some errors in my whatever it is I'm talking about. But just this last couple of weeks, man, things been going all kinds of haywire. Whether it's, as I said before, whether it was the SNAP benefits being taken away from, Americans, or whether it's the ongoing issues with the enforcement of Homeland Security and ICE, whether it's these uh, tariffs that continue to hamper economies around the world, not just here. We've had quite the year. Um, I don't know what everybody's looking forward to. I know it's the end of the year. People are looking forward to hanging out with their family, their friends, getting some time off from their job. Maybe it's for some of you, it's the season where you do end up doing like some, seasonal work where you work, the holidays to make a couple extra bucks, or you're home for the holidays, or you're visiting from school, or, overseas. Maybe, maybe you're just getting into the work field for the year, or in this area, or wherever area you are. But it's the end of the year. People are looking forward to something. And it's so hard to look forward to something when there's so much just horrible shit going on. And yeah, there's some good stuff too. I'm sure there's got to be something you can find, some silver lining. And I'm sure a lot of you have found it. But for so many, they don't know how much they're going to be able to spend for the holidays on their family, on themselves, on their friends. They don't know if they're going to be able to pay their regular bills. Some people's health costs are going up because of said shutdown. Um, the health premiums, I guess. And then some companies like Aetna are not even going to cover Americans in certain states anymore. And it's not just that, like health coverage. It's things like house insurance and the insurance on your other property, your businesses. All these things are going up because of uh, just the economical stance of the government and what it costs materially, uh, the cost of materials to do business, and all these different factors. Uh, it's hard for businesses to adjust on the fly when there's no real plan in effect. It's like the government is just playing it by ear and not really doing a good job. It's like they haven't even made it to the recital yet, and they're just trying to figure out the chords, and they never wanted to play guitar anyway. They didn't even want to be in the band. They probably wanted to sing karaoke at most. So, it's really hard to watch people struggle because we literally have people who had a plan and had experience and qualifications that were ready to serve and not make this about themselves and not have a scandal every week or have to do all kinds of distractionary actions to, I don't know, to just delay doing the job they were elected to do, that they ran to do. Now, the things that they are doing that they said they would do are absolutely atrocious and horrible. I can't, I don't know, I can't understand why, like, you have everything in the world, you're rich, you're well educated, or you possibly are or were given the chance to be well educated, and you still get up in the morning, you're like, I need to just treat people like absolute shit today. I need to cause so much horror, anxiety, and stress on people that it's going to affect them for the next decade or two. I need to just destroy all the progress between all the different countries that we've made diplomatic relationships with, trade agreements with. I need to set back the course of civil rights and workers' rights and the rights to people to unionize and defend their own labor. Um, even no matter what side it is, there's people up in New York. They're mad. This guy wants free bus transportation for the city. All right, all he wants to do is make it so that people can get to and from work. A little bit of tax will take care of everybody for the year. It'll make sure that things are maintained, make sure that people get to where they got to go. And it's not like it's not going to benefit the pockets of the rich. They just have this need in them to cause suffering. when you offer a solution to suffering, because they've been conditioned to this, that suffering is the only way to continue capitalism. It's the only way to continue to profit from the people. And it's how they have their surpluses. This is what they depend on when they want to come in and do something. And fine, that's understandable. That's how they have traditionally done things. But give somebody a chance to do something, and if the people like it, the people will try to make it funded. They will vote to pay the extra taxes. If it's a penny more or $5 more, and that's what it costs, so be it. Let them have what they want. Stop telling the people what they want. Stop telling them what the system wants. Let the people have what they want, and they will adjust the system to that setting. It's not like we haven't, you know, programmed our phones and our devices here and there. It's not like we haven't been on computers for most of our lives, or a pad or a phone, or it's not like we're not very technologically advanced people that we can't find a way so that we can pay for and operate a transportation system that doesn't depend on us paying to use it. The same as healthcare, the same as the military. We don't pay for the military directly, it's paid through the taxes. So, of course, the damn buses could run if we just set it up that way. But there's always an excuse to why they can't make life easier for people, because some sadistic need in the back of their head says that other people should suffer because this person is better than the other person, or this person deserves it more, or this person is entitled to this because of this history or this, and you forget that nothing exists in this country without everybody putting something towards, without so many different people having to sacrifice. And consistently people deny it. Consistently people shit on that sacrifice for some uh, revisionist history view that, oh, this one is the reason the Western Hemisphere and Western civilization is amazing because of the actions of these men versus the exploitation of those other people. Um, and they talk about socialism, capitalism, communism, Marxism, all these isms, and the only one that really works for me thus far is the alcoholism. It's the only one I understand for sure. But I if the mayor in New York City is what is it, a socialist, a democratic socialist, and he wants the people's money to work for the people versus the people's money paying for a golf trip or paying for Secret Service for people who don't care about anyone else, or paying for free healthcare in another country, or weapons in another country, or defense in another country, or technology in another country. So if he wants the money that we pay taxes here, our country revenue, to work for us versus it work for a few individuals in large corporations, the extremely wealthy, and foreign investors in our country, if he feels that that's the only thing that our tax dollars should work for, he, them, they, whoever they are that feel that way, that our tax dollars are predominantly allotted to the agendas of the most wealthy, the corporations, and the people who are openly not trying to pay taxes because they're receiving the biggest tax breaks. They feel that they are entitled to the U.S. taxpayer treasury and all the resources that come with it, when they don't like to put in. They don't like to pay taxes. So how you can tell me you're trying to make America great again and you don't like to pay the taxes? You'll go to China and pay X amount of money. You'll go to these other countries where you have businesses and pay their taxes, and shut up and not say nothing about it, as long as they give you a little respect here on the end. All right, people, they have their bank accounts and their companies, their businesses registered other places, but here they don't pay taxes when they come over here. The richest of the rich, they depend on the small money taxpayer to pay everything. All right, it essentially makes you into a slave class of people. They've been doing it for years. It's just that now they're pushing it to the next level where they're just blatantly saying, hey, we're not paying taxes. You guys, we're going to stand on top of your backs as long as you keep producing children. And they're openly telling you, hey, come on, don't stop producing kids, because they're seeing people are getting tired of this shit. They don't even want to have kids. They're saying men are lonely, all kinds of shit. I'm like, oh, men aren't lonely. I said, they're broke. They can't go out. They can't ask a girl out on a date. They can't take somebody out to a movie. They can't, afford a car. They're in an Uber. They're on a scooter. The older grown men, they can't stop being toxic to start with somebody else. They feel that they're played out and they're upset. All right, not all of them, but some of them. So like, and that's the next thing. Like society on itself too. Society is it's funny. It's like we have all these guys. Something I think some people tell me they say it's like the red pill or whatever, where they're very very that they've lost the opportunities to be manly. They can't be aggressive. They can't be. They can't, they can't say what they feel they want to say, or whatever they assume is or consider is, masculine. Somebody's telling them that they got to shut up. They got to be quiet. They got to tone it down. They can't, they can't say, the F word, the N word, the this word, the that word. They can't call a woman a B. They can't do this. And, like they feel repressed, suppressed. And I guess with that is, it's the bell ringing in the fight between uh, whatever the next level we're gonna be as a society. Like, did we say we wanted civilization, or did we want to leave everybody in the savannah or on the tundra hunting a pack of wolves or running from them? I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, but it's like all the all the threats and the danger that we needed the tough guy for, the that we needed the savage caveman for, and the savage woman for, and the aggressive uh, male, masculine, all that energy that we needed back then. We don't need it so much anymore, because everybody in the state I live in, 1 in 4 men and women carry a gun. All right, most of the time it's probably safer to have a conversation and not resolve yourself to any kind of violence. I personally, for one, don't like to go to jail. I don't like people putting their fucking hands on me. I don't like waiting in a cell. I don't like taking a picture for the lineup. I don't like taking fingerprints. I don't like being shackled at the wrists or the ankles or the waist. Um, and I don't like staying in the fucking cell with a bunch of dudes. So there's nothing manly about that, ever. You can take it from me. This time I brought water. Last time I had coffee. And I think the next show is gonna be on November 20th, because that's a special day. And anyways, guys, you know the and then the exclusive. Like I said, the men. I don't know. You don't have to be lonely. You don't have to be angry. You just have to be nice. You just have to be respectful. You just gotta give people a chance. And we're not going extinct. We're not going out of style. If you're a certain age, if you're 40 and above, hey, you can still kick it. But just know, like, other men, when our fathers, when they were 40, did not act like how we act. Obviously they came from a different generation. My father was from the 50s. They had a different swag about them. Our generation is a little, I don't know. I feel like we're unbalanced a little bit, because not all of us had all the same opportunities and all the same resources and all the same people in our life. A lot of us came from a lot of tragedy, a lot of, you know, uh, dysfunction. So, anyways, somebody like that, give them a chance. Uh, we have our ways at this age, and maybe the toxic masculinity is aging out. but it's hard to let go of. So, and I think it's something too, like a lot of guys have to mature out of, because there's a period I feel where you're full of this spark, this energy, this vigor, this passion about whatever the fuck it is you're doing, but at this next level, when you realize, hey, you can't fight the whole world. I don't care who you are. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care, how many guns you got. You cannot fight the whole world. I've seen many a person feel like that, and they didn't make it too far. They either made it to the cell or the box. In some cases, some of them didn't even get to the box. So, that being said, we have this other thing going on right now, talking about Manly. They found out your favorite president was being very fallacious. I don't think that's the right word, or it means what I mean it to mean, but yeah, he was filleting a certain somebody, and there's probably more news to come, so I'm not really gonna go ham on that right now. Maybe the next episode of the Fuckeries. Um, I'd like to give a shout out to Gary at I don't know if you can see this. This is Bayshore Used Tires. It's on Bayshore Boulevard in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Uh, they do new and used tires, automotive repairs. Also, this is Ahai Peru. Their Peruvian cuisine. They've got a great um, happy hour. You can buy one, get one free on beers and certain other beverages. These are like my sponsors. So from time to time, I pass out some flyers here and there when I meet people, and they've been helping me ever since I broke my arm back in, I believe it was March the 23rd. I broke my forearm, so I have when I couldn't work and I had one arm, I went out and got flyers and menus from this place, these couple different places, including Tacos Ponchos, uh, Kinfolk's Chicken, um, Tiki EV, electric bikes and golf carts, the PSL Water Guy, and also Peace Ave uh, Smoke Shop. So there's been quite a few people in my neighborhood on this Gatlin Road area in Port St. Lucie that actually helped me out quite a bit as I was recovering from my injury. And it's kind of what led to me doing this, where I was kind of advertising and I was looking for a different thing to do. Plus, I like to hear myself talk. I'm such a loser. But, you know, uh, back to what's going on. We got a potential war about to happen off the coast of the Caribbean and South America. Venezuela, I've been talking about it forever. We're still in the aftermath of the Argentina beef scandal. And I don't know, I feel like he might be giving that guy some more money. Um, Chile is in the middle of an election right now, so we may be talking about that, see how that country ends up going. Uh, my favorite MAGA politician, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's on the outs with her party, so I would like to see what the Neanderthal demographic has to say about that, and to see if she's the thing that I think was the inner turmoil that would finally undo them. Maybe this QAnon base is what is gonna what essentially elevated them. The When I say them, I mean Caligula's administration was that QAnon base, and then towards the second administration, it kind of faded away from him because of all the allegations and all the different stuff that came up. And by him, you know who I mean. But it's gonna be fun to see what happens in the end of the year, whether it's politics, the economy. Don't forget, there's supposed to be this blackout where we don't shop, we don't go to work if you can't take your time off. Do not put no energy into this country, into this economy. Black it out, boycott it out. That's what they want. I don't know who they is. I'm probably one of them. But I think the only way to hit them when you're the poor people is to hit them in the pocket. All right, because when they hit us in the pocket, it shuts me down. I'd be like, damn, I'm broke. I don't even want to go outside. um, other than that, you guys please have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. If we don't speak before that, as I said before, I'm trying to see if we can do another show in a few days on Thanksgiving. I will be, I guess, not live, but I'll be out there. I'll have some footage of this little food drive thing I'm trying to do. Nobody really knows I'm doing it. I'm just hoping that I can just post up and people will realize and just come by and grab some food. Gonna do it, I think, after the, I don't know, after the 28th or so. I was trying to see if it was something I could do all throughout the holidays, but let me see how money's working out. Um, but yeah, man, thank you guys for watching this entire time. As always, you can uh, look for my Cash App in the description if you want to support the page. It's money sign the Travis faction. I don't know how you can spell it. You can spell it, but it's probably in the description somewhere um, on the playlist page or whatever, or the profile. The next week is gonna be, pretty. Like I said, it's gonna be pretty significant in the American economy because I do believe a large portion of the population is going to be boycotting on a high level. Uh, and that might even extend throughout the holidays if they intend on proving a point because people have to organize, they have to come together and decide what it is they want before these people start deciding what they want for you. It's starting to show like it's a we say so government where we say so, like that like TV show Dinosaurs. The government or the company was called We Say So because they had to do whatever they did because we say so, and this is what we're getting to. We don't want a we say so government. um what else, man? Well, I just hope you guys have a great night. uh Please continue to donate to the food pantries. Look out for one another during these holidays. The goons come out, they're scoping out your cars and your property and your homes, whatever. Watch out for the other goons who's kidnapping people off the streets for, the stupidest reasons. Um, Look out for one another because during the holidays, all kinds of crazy things just tend to happen, and this is when people get records. If you haven't been arrested for a domestic violence or some domestic disturbance or dispute or minor drug possession or public intoxication, this is the season for that